Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the eSports Report. Benson joined by Puckett as we go on our road to finals. We're talking today about Epsilon.North America, a squad who's been causing just so much media attention recently with how well they played at Season 3 finals. But the story all starts really if you go back in time to Team Revenge. And before the commercial break, you asked a great question. What happened to TR after Champs?
Well, a lot of things happened, Ben.
They did. A lot of things. It was just team changes galore, Chris. You look at the first event, X Games. So prestigious in Call of Duty. It was a great event. We've done the past 2 years. No one from Team Revenge attended X Games.
Yeah, this was our Season 2 championship, and you saw immediately after COD Champs, Pittsburgh, the other TR owners were trying to reach out to every squad that was in the Pro League. They desperately tried to get TR a spot. No one was willing to sell. So what happened? TR got impatient. Vicento decided to leave first. He went to Elevate as a substitute. Then you saw Aqua and Nagafen be picked up on the Prophecy lineup that failed to qualify, while Remy went in to fill in for AR. But Aqua and Nagafen instantly became starters towards the end of Season 2.
And then kind of at the end of that, we go towards Season 3 relegation, a big tournament for a lot of teams desperate to try and get into Season 3. You have Vicento. He goes over to Team Orbit, places third, finds himself in the Pro League. Then Aqua, still on Prophecy, places fifth.
Right.
So a little bit of trouble there.
And that was the number 1 seed coming in. Everyone thought Aches, Octane, Aqua, and the boys would be able to cross their way.
And they didn't. It was just kind of sloppy performances from them. And a lot of people looked at that event and went, wow, that's a huge upset. Then, of course, for Epsilon, Remy and Nagafen reunited once again. They placed second, where they only lost in the grand finals there too. ISO was 2 best of 5s as well.
Playing alongside Swanee and Royalty, had some great success in relegation, and then you see how it continued to play out. From third place at relegation for Vicento down to a 9th place finish in the regular season for the playoffs. And then you have Aqua, joins up with the boys in blue after Prophecy fails to join up. He and Octane failing pretty hard there, I think a lot of people could safely say. And meanwhile, Remy and Nagafen, most consistent placings from the squad, getting third with Epsilon NA.
And then, of course, you can see pre-NOLA, pre-Worlds, Aqua back on this Epsilon North American squad. Excited to see the damage they can do. But we should really recap Season 3 for this Epsilon squad. Going into relegation, it was a very different team. As we kind of mentioned, Swanee from the UK was playing with this team. Online, they had a little bit of issues, I think it's fair to say.
Yep.
But when they got to LAN, they ultimately, the squad beat up to gaming. So people looked at them and went, oh, well, this is the Epsilon. Like, why can Epsilon not play like this every single time? And of course, Royalty, he's on that page as well.
Yeah, and I feel like Royalty had his coming out party at the Season 3 relegations. I had never heard of the man. We were talking with Swanee. He's like, just trust me. Remy and Nagafen have played with him. They like the guy. I trust them. And so far, he's looking great online. But Royalty truly put on a show, as well as the rest of the squad at relegation. They cruised their way to the winners bracket finals.
I mean, Season 3 relegation for them was just very comfortable. I think it's fair to say. It shouldn't have been, but they made it look very, very easy. And as you said, I think for me, because I wasn't actually even at this event, I was kind of watching on tablet as much as I possibly could. As you said, this was Royalty's just coming out party. He was like, hey, I'm sat on main stage. This is my time to shine. Can potentially get into, Season 3 of the MLG Pro League. And boy, oh boy, did he just destroy it. And everyone, of course, kind of raving about his sensitivity. Oh, how does he do it? How does he do it? He's 41 and 34 here in a game against Strictly Business in Hardpoint Solo.
And what I loved was Aqua's missing, right? You only have half of TR. Royalty filled his shoes so well. In fact, I feel like it helped Remy's game get to the next level. Now, 2 super aggressive SMGs, 18 captures from Remy in that game, 9 from Royalty towards the later parts, but they shine in all aspects. Their S&D game was one of their strengths throughout, and you see it here. It's not necessarily the gun skill, but it was the smarts that won them this game against Strictly Business, Game 5.
Yeah, Nagafen and Swanee just run away, just bleed the clock, and that's just such experience with veteran play that you really want to see from the squad. And then, of course, they go up against Synergy Gaming as well. Their Search and Destroy pretty much flawless all weekend long.
Yeah, it's Synergy. If you remember back to relegation, they had a great start. They were looking super strong, causing upsets. We thought they would go deep in the tournament, but Swanee and the boys shut it down. Royalty with a massive game on Riot. Swanee with a great game as well. And then the dirty work. Nagafen carrying the bomb with Remy throughout. They were able to shut down Synergy and advance throughout that bracket. But all over, you just saw, this reminds you of TR. This is a team that is using a whole lot of teamwork.
Yep.
They trust in their strong Bal Swanee, who replaced Vicento. He was kind of the leader. And then you had this new addition, the new guy, just running amok.
When it got to LAN, I think Swanee definitely kind of the vocal guy. And that's what that team really needed. They needed that vocal presence because you go back to COD Champs and it was Vicento. Like you said, the hype man. He wasn't afraid to get the boys kind of riled up. And when TR got rattled up, it was like, oh, okay, I don't want to mess with these guys. They can really cause some damage. So Swanee was really a crucial part of that, and that's kind of what they missed a little bit online. And then, of course, when regular season came along, more team changes for this Epsilon squad. Right. Swanee, he decides it's best for his career if he goes back over to the UK, and a massive surprise pickup, I think a lot of people would agree with, they go with Parasite.
Yeah, and you saw this squad looking great on LAN. Online, they looked absolutely terrible until Parasite joined up. After that, they were still kind of in the middle of the pack, though. You didn't consider them a Tier 1 team. In fact, I put them maybe a fringe Tier 2 team at the bottom of that, close to the bottom 4 in Tier 3.
I honestly not going to disagree with you, and I think when we were doing the kind of bracket show, no one really expected Epsilon to make any noise. I know a couple of the players kind of stayed quiet. They're not really the guys on social media to come out and be like, oh yeah, you know, no one knows anything, we're going to do great. They're just very kind of humble players, if you will. They just like to prove themselves in the game as opposed to kind of talk the talk on social media. That was something which I think going into Season 3 finals was a big kind of help them because they didn't feel any pressure. They just were able to play their game. And you look at the run that they had at Season 3 finals, you know, they go up against Elevate, they beat them. Then they played Denal, they beat them. And you kind of sat there going, how is this happening?
It was like, one of the most difficult brackets of all time.
Yes.
And they made it look easy.
It really was. It really was. If you look at teams which have been kind of like bracket screwed, if you will, that's a tough bracket because then they went up against FaZe as well. And we actually have some of the best highlights we could find from that Epsilon versus FaZe series. Let's take a look.
Still should have some support coming in from Parasite around the outside. He's going to die, though. And Royalty is still on this hill, guys. Still keeping it contested. Hasn't really needed to do anything before finally springing into action. But he's bought Nagafen enough time to come up behind, pick up a 3-piece. Can he find the 4th mid-cut? Nagafen looking for 4. Not going to be able to do so. Actually stomped on his teammate there. The assist does come in. And Epsilon now thinking about building themselves a lead. Instantly, that's going to leave Epsilon in a little bit of a pickle. Nagafen trying to go big. He's able to pick up 2 himself. Moving on point. The assist comes in. Remy with the kill. And back and forth action in this final 60 seconds.
They've decided to begin to push towards the
know about that,
wall.
Jack.
They had 2 players fall. Now they're falling all the way across the map. Epsilon in control. They have a lead. They are closing in on winning this game number 1, a feat that I did not think would be possible.
Nagafen so big, able to pick up another kill. More players going to be pushing him from FaZe. Enable breaks into halfway. 179, 166, time ticking, 38 seconds remaining. You can see all of the players from FaZe desperately trying to get a little bit of control. Attached with a big win there on Royalty, and FaZe about to take the lead.
10 seconds separating these 2 teams as he just turns on and destroys Clayster. Another push coming from Zuma. Zuma trying to stay alive. He's got help from Attach. The 2 subs of FaZe inside the hard point. They need to break it right now if they want a chance, and it looks like they're going to fail at that. Game number 1 going to Epsilon eSports. They just beat FaZe on one of their best maps, and I mentioned earlier, you don't see a ton of hype out of this team. I can hear Royalty through my headset yelling, let's go. They know they just took a big map 1.
He is so loud right now. Nagafen and Remy. See the TR duo in a 2v3.
This is actually great positioning for everyone right now. On FaZe.
Time's ticking.
They have 2 players inside lockers. He should challenge us right away.
One goes down. And Remy immediately pre-fights. He is going to get away through fire. Nicely done.
Look at middle street right now, too. They have no idea Nagafan's here. Will they wind up checking it? It doesn't appear so. Attached is spotted.
Well, that's big.
Nagafen takes
2v2.
down.
Nagafen! Oh my lord!
He is not missing.
Clayster.
Putting on a show. It's a 1v2.
1v2. Going up against Nagafen and Remy. Remy gonna spot him! And Epsilon sent FaZe down to the losers bracket. I cannot believe the upsets Epsilon have caused here in Season 3. That is insane, Jack.
Epsilon have taken down so many great teams this weekend. Add FaZe to the list. They are guaranteed themselves, what, a top 3 finish?
This is insane.
Of course, Epsilon managing to defeat FaZe, as you heard me and Jack kind of say, one of the best hardpoint maps to start that series off. Mind-blowing performance from them. Then they go over to the winners bracket final. And we're kind of sat there going, all right, look at the teams they've beaten. Can they really beat Optic Gaming? Can
Elevate down, FaZe
do
down.
Like, oh, can they do it? And then they have just a huge lead. They have a massive lead in the series, and you're sat there going, they're going to do it.
They're going to
be guaranteed top 2. Optic Gaming make a just massive comeback in the series, and they knock down Epsilon to the losers bracket, where they ultimately end up finishing 3rd in Season 3, which, to their credit, is a fantastic performance. No one predicted that. So you've got to give them some serious props. And one of the key players was Royalty. You mentioned that kind of Season 3 relegation was coming out party. Well, Season 3 finals was definitely a party of him saying, yeah, guess what? I'm here to stay. He had some crazy, crazy clips. Let's check out a cheeky little montage of Royalty.
Royalty had some big plays on the previous hardpoint. Let's see what his SMG is all about.
Yeah, Royalty's going to have a player up top playing very well here. 17 and 16 with 6 caps to his name. And up top, Royalty, they're looking to trade the kill. He's going to get control of the hill and just dips away straight away.
I don't think Royalty knows how to stand still for a second.
I mean, his sensitivity is just too high. He's like,
look at him right here.
He just gets busy if he stands still. It's ironic.
Okay, Royalty trying to make a statement here. 22 kills, leads everyone in the party. You got Remy right there with him, and Nagafen at 21 and 20. So the slaying is being done here by Epsilon, and it's the subs who are putting the pressure on. Look at Royalty, even at range.
I have Karma, you stay on Royalty. Karma has them on Royalty, Royalty clutches again! Pure focus right there. An Epsilon chat breaking out.
Dominating TCM there. Swanee also picking up some kills. You're going to see Royalty rotating now behind enemy lines. Has at least 2 kills in front of him, and he's going to line up the triple.
30 seconds left on blue. FaZe preparing for one more push. Clayster has swapped to that bow. He gets the entry kill. 2 players pushing in. Trades coming back and forth. Royalty hasn't moved. Gets one.
Royalty.
Lost the second as well. The boys of Epsilon are now up by a full 30 seconds, and with 2 minutes remaining, they might do the impossible.
3, 4 more with the pistol, gets outshot by Royalty. 2v2 now. Royalty still alive. Can he make it a 2v1? He can! Royalty going big for Epsilon. Karma last man alive, and Royalty's going after it. Royalty! What did you just do? Oh my god!
Royalty was a man beast at Season 3, and a day later, he was off the team.
Craziness. The guy plays out of his mind, brings Epsilon back in so many series, but Epsilon decide it's not in their best interest to keep him for Worlds. They make a team change. They go back, pick up Aqua, 3/4 of TR now on that Epsilon North America squad, which is exciting.
Right.
But at the same time, you're like, well, you know, Royalty was doing a really good job. He was. So we thought, let's compare the 2 players and see really who is the better player. This is Aqua versus Royalty from UMG DC. Look at these statistics. Aqua with a 1.07 overall KD, Royalty with a 0.93. The Slayer rating, again, in favor of Aqua. They're at a 31.87 opposed to Royalty's 30.88. Hardpoint KD, again, in favor of Aqua. But I feel like, you know, you can't really just kind of look at Respawn when you're comparing these 2 players. I think, you know, Search and Destroy Royalty really comes out strong. Then as well, we can take a look at Season 3 finals and see how they compared at that event, because it was a little bit different. Nothing kind of too crazy. Aqua still remained positive with a 1.05 KD. As well as that, you had Royalty just with a 0.93. Then you go over to the Slayer rating. This was where Royalty actually excelled. Royalty actually had a higher Slayer rating than Aqua did at 32 as opposed to a 30. So you look overall at both these 2 players and you're like, well, okay, statistics will tell us one side of the story.
Right.
But there's so much other stuff as well, like the clutches Royalty had. Like in that game against Optic Gaming, he basically started to bring them back. I mean, you see him get a crazy 3-piece at the end of that montage. There was 1v1 clutch against Scumpy. There was a 1v1 clutch against Karma. There was a 1v2. Yeah, there was the 1v3 as well. Like, the guy was just on form. Now, can Aqua do that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of course he can. But have we really seen him excel at that since he left Team Revenge? I don't really think we have.
The question for me is, does Aqua play for himself or does he still play for the team? And does he change his play style rejoining Remy and Nagafen? Because I know he was frustrated playing with Envy. They didn't let him just run and gun in S&Ds like he did back in TR, where he used to have a little bit more freedom. They wanted to play more structured, and that hurt his play style, as
agreed,
according to him. I think Royalty was always allowed to just be that guy who goes off and does his own thing.
Yeah.
And when you have the option to go with Aqua or Royalty, I think you're going to see a little bit more trust in Aqua from Nagafen and Remy.
Completely agree. I think that's something which is very true. I think Aqua and Search and Destroy especially is going to give you more consistent results. in terms of, the kills that he's going to drop. You're going to have good performances from him. Sometimes you saw Royalty struggling a little bit at start of those search and destroys, but he could still make those plays, which was the impressive thing. Now I think you kind of look at the squad and you have to look at it a little bit different. It isn't that you've lost a playmaker, it's just that the team is going to have a little bit more core chemistry, I think. So I don't think you're going to have to see them make as many of those impressive clutch plays, because I don't think they're going to be in a position where they have to.
And honestly, I'm super surprised when we went through the list of teams today, Royalty wasn't on any of them.
Crazy, right?
So no one has picked up the young gun yet, but we know he's going to land somewhere strong. But you look at Aqua's gameplay, and honestly, I feel like he is definitely more than capable of filling Royalty's shoes.
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, the guy is an absolute animal. It's just, we, as you kind of so rightfully put, haven't seen him play that same play style that he was once playing under Team Revenge, because he just hasn't really been in a team where he's been allowed to do that. Like, he just hasn't had that natural chemistry with the team, and that's what really makes this new Epsilon squad so exciting. 3/4 of that TR team is back. We kind of said at the end of Champs, when there was all that roster mania going on and they split up, we were like, will we ever see the day where they come back? We haven't got the full squad, but I think it's good enough. It really is. 3/4 of the team. I'm so excited.
And now you're going to see Parasite, of course, filling the old shoes of Vicento. I think he's going to be able to do that. One of the stronger battles in the game. In fact, I'd say he's a stronger battle than Vicento. At least he was at Champs, in my opinion. So I think Parasite definitely could fill that leadership role that Vicento brought. The question I have is, who brings the hype? Parasite did do that a bit at Season 3, but not nearly the same level of what we saw at COD Champs.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's the one thing I think this team kind of needs, because they can be very passive players. They like to just kind of focus, but when they do get that hype rolling and they start playing as a team, that's what made Team Revenge so scary at Champs. For now, though, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we return, we're going to break down each player on this new Epsilon North America squad. Be right back.